As Kemi entered the hall, she was surrounded by family and friends, including some she hadn't seen in many years. Her parents took the opportunity to introduce her to new acquaintances, including business partners and friends. Kemi also reconnected with old friends from her age group, with whom she had grown up in the same social circle. Either their parents were friends or business associates, just like Moyos, whose parents were also present at the party. As the night wore on, Kemi found herself drawn into conversations with old friends, each interaction taking her back on a journey to her past. The mention of Babs triggered a wave of emotions, a mix of excitement and anxiety. Would he still be the charming heartbreaker? Or had time softened the edges of his once untamed persona? Finally, she was able to escape and join the toast of the party. Remy and Shalwa. As they exchanged pleasantries, Kemi's gaze locked with a familiar pair of brown eyes, and it was as if the time stood still. Babalola animation, in the flesh older, and more masculine, but still wickedly handsome. Kemi's heart raced as a sudden realization hit her. She hadn't gotten over her feelings for him. The intense eye contact was broken as someone called for Babs's attention. Kemi shifted her focus to the woman beside him, assuming it must be his fiancée. The lady looked at Kemi with a gleam in her eyes. Choosing to avoid the moment, Kemi averted her gaze and continued talking with her brother and his fiancée. In the corner of her eye, while talking to Remy and Shalwa, Kemi noticed Babs approaching. "Well, who do we have here, Olafusi Olafusi?" Emeka's voice rang out, and Kemi turned in his direction, her face lighting up with a smile. "I can see you are no longer tiny," he teased. "Hello, Emeka," she greeted. "Hello, Emeka. Is that how you're going to greet your adopted brother? Come here, Joe." Emeka pulled her into his arms, giving her a bear hug. "Hey, will you let go of my sister?" Remy interjected, but Emeka ignored him. "Can you imagine, even now that you're a full-grown woman, we are still not allowed to touch you? Nawa for who no get sister," everyone laughed. "If I remember correctly, you are married. Where is Doris, by the way?" Remy teased him. She went to the ladies. "So, if I am married, NKO, Kemi is our sister, so don't interfere." "I can't wait to meet Doris," Kemi said. "Hi Kemi, welcome home," Babs greeted. "Hi Babs," Kemi responded without looking at him. "No, you have to address him properly, Pastor Babalola Animashahan. Our dear friend is now an ordained pastor," Emeka announced. "Oh, how nice," Kemi murmured. "Come on. Is that how you two are going to greet each other after 10 years? Emeka observed. "Yes, it's fine. No more hugs," Remy announced, prompting laughter from everyone. "Hello," the lady accompanying Babs greeted. "Sorry, my manners. This is Pastor Derin, my fiancé." "Derin, this is Kemi, Remy's sister." "Nice to meet you, Kemi." Derin, dressed in a modest yet elegant outfit, placed a possessive hand on Babs's arm. Her eyes conveyed a quiet determination, and her smile concealed a subtle awareness of the underlying currents between Babs and Kemi. "Nice to meet you too, Derin." After a brief chat, Kemi excused herself. "You have to excuse me. I need to find my friend." "Nice seeing you guys again, and nice meeting you, Shalwa." "Derin, she is so cute," Shalwa observed. "Well, we are not allowed to admire her," Emeka joked. "Yes, because you know what will happen if you do. I have my eyes on you, Emeka. Your eyes better not wander," Remy threatened jokingly. Laughter filled the room. Kemi found herself breathless as she hurried from the room to the kitchen, where she poured herself a drink. "I'm in trouble," she thought, attempting to calm her racing thoughts. "Focus, Kemi Olafusi. You're staying for 2 weeks. Just stay out of his way, and you'll be fine," she reminded herself. Moyo noticed Kemi leaving the hall and decided to follow her. "Are you okay?" Moyo asked. "Yeah, I'm fine." "Liar, you don't look fine." "Out with it. The crowd in there is overwhelming. I just need a break," Kemi responded. "A break from the crowd or Babs?" "What is wrong with you, girl?" Kemi exclaimed. "I know you. I know you claim that you're over him, but I was watching you tonight. You're not. Listen to me. You're my friend, and I know it's because of what happened between you two that you haven't opened your heart to love. I say this is your chance. He was married and is now a widower. Go for what you want. Are you crazy, Moyo? He has a fiancée. They are getting married. Yes, but they are not yet married. I saw the way his eyes followed you, Kemi. He likes you. Even if he did, he's a pastor now, and he's better off being with a pastor like himself." Kemi responded, "You can become a pastor too. You got yourself born again a few years ago, didn't you?" She laughed. "Well, I haven't been behaving like one. I was with Daniel then, and I just felt a deep need to connect with God at that time. But the moment we broke up, I stopped going to church. If you did it for Daniel, how much more for Babs, the love of your life? Please, Moyo, first of all, I didn't do it for Daniel. Secondly, don't put ideas into my head. I'm going to find myself a gentleman and go dance with him. I suggest you go find your husband before someone else does." "Stubborn girl," Moyo retorted as she watched her friend walked away. On the other side of the room, Babs and Derin rested their feet, taking a seat in the corner. "So that is the popular Kemi Olafusi. Did you two have a history?" Derin asked. "What made you think that?" Babs questioned. "Because I could sense the tension between you both, and the way you looked at her when she came into the hall. Were you two involved?" Derin asked. "How can? She was 17, and I haven't seen her in 10 years. Kemi is like a sister to me. Moreover, she is Remy's sister. She is off limits. She might be off limits, but that doesn't mean you two didn't get involved behind Remy. You know how guys always crave their friend's sister, especially when she is off limits. Was that what happened to you? Were you carrying on with your brother's friend behind his back? Of course not. Then drop it. There is nothing there. I hope so. I will be watching you both." Babs excused himself that he needed some air. Outside, he took a deep breath, thinking he was prepared to see Kemi, but she threw him off balance. She looked more beautiful than ever. He recalled the night before her trip, when she sneaked into the guest room where he usually sleeps whenever he stays over at Remy's. It was sheer willpower, loyalty, and the knowledge that she was a minor that prevented him from taking what she offered that night. But her kiss tormented him for many years, even during his first marriage. He tried to see her a couple of times when he was in her city, but she refused to see him, and when she came home 2 years ago, he was on honeymoon with his late wife. From her reaction tonight, it's obvious she hasn't forgiven him for that night. He felt the need to apologize and clear the air. Despite knowing he couldn't be with her now, as his future was with Derin, he is doing for the church. As the first son, he was being groomed to take over from his father, and he required a spiritually strong woman like Derin by his side, not someone like Kemi, who was headstrong and passionate. Yet, he couldn't shake off a sense of sadness about the situation, he sighed. Emeka appeared beside him. "So," he asked. "So what? You are in trouble, oh? I saw the way you looked at her. You are marrying one woman and in love with another. Even if Derin is not in the picture, Remy will never agree for Kemi and me to be together. Talk to him, you never know. I know Remy. It will be a waste of my time. But then I'm bound by duty to marry Derin, and that's what's important. Life can just be complicated at times," Emeka said. "You can say that again, my friend." After Babs stepped out, Derin found an empty room and placed a call. "Hello," Derin greeted. "How is the party going? I made a discovery tonight. Babs is in love with Kemi, Remy's sister," Derin declared. "How did you come to that conclusion?" The way he looked at her, it was very special. How can we use that to our advantage? I haven't figured that out yet, but I will keep a close eye on them. If any opportunity comes up, we will take advantage of it. They continued their conversation for a while, and after ending the call, Derin returned to the hall to find Babs. At a certain point that night, Remy and Babs found themselves alone at the bar. "I finally confirmed my suspicions tonight," Remy said. "What suspicion?" Babs asked. "That something happened between you and my sister." "What are you talking about?" Babs became uncomfortable. "I always knew she was infatuated with you, and I know you indulge her, because she is my sister. You slept over at the house the night before her trip to the UK, and left in the morning with some flimsy excuse. Kemi didn't come down for breakfast, and she was not herself the whole day. Since she left, the two of you have cut every communication, and she never asks about you. Tonight, she couldn't even look at you. I could feel the tension between you both. I have asked you before, and I'm asking again. What happened between you two? Come on, guy. I told you nothing happened. You won't betray me and break the guy code, will you? Rem, I'm getting married, remember? We know you are doing this because of your parents and the church. If you ask me, Derin is not your type at all," Remy said. Babs responded, "She is very strong spiritually, and that's the kind of woman I need by my side. Every time I see her, I just have a feeling there is something off about her. Derin is okay. It will be fine. We just have to find a way to make it work." The party continued into late in the night, and Kemi made sure that her part didn't cross with Babs. He didn't get any opportunity to talk to her, as Derin didn't leave his side throughout the night.